Hello, welcome to The Truths. This Jeremy Corbyn, he's mad, isn't he? With his railing against austerity and being against the Iraq war, which we definitely should have done, and being against bombing Syria and opposing benefit caps and warning against the dangers of immigration controls and wanting to scrap Trident and wanting to provide free education for young British people and challenging sexism and thinking half of MPs should be women and that the cabinet should be elected, and believing in renationalising energy companies and rail companies so they could be correctly regulated in harmony with the ecology, and wanting to bring in rent controls in London and build 240,000 more homes each year and reduce deficit with a progressive tax and reintroduce 50% higher rate tax for high earning people, and disagreeing with the monarchy but saying he won't fight it. What an absolute lunatic. What we need is an elder statesman who's run a proper government with a nice accent, and it is New Labour, and certainly don't go on too much of a progressive Google search about Tony Blair. Certainly don't look up his middle name or look for photos of him with Jimmy Savile. Let's have a look at this controversy around this maniac Jeremy Corbyn and get put straight by the right-thinking, trouble-free, no skeletons in the closet, Tony Blair.
Are you putting Jeremy first or second?
No, actually that's the Tory preference. I'm a Labour leader.
Still thinks he's in charge.
And it's not about an individual, it's about a platform that in the end wouldn't work for the country. And I want to stress that.
I'm scared of him. He's got a really eerie quality to him, hasn't he, Tony Blair? Now, I've not been following this too closely, but it seems to me that Jeremy Corbyn is being vilified and attacked by the media and by the establishment simply because he's in public talking out on behalf of ordinary people. And those policies that we listed at the beginning of this episode, none of them seem absurd to me. The other candidates in the Labour leadership election, and I don't really want to be involved in leadership elections or voting type stuff anymore, but like they're interchangeable, even though they're different genders, like the Burnham one, the Cooper one. I think I've met some of them, but they all sort of just float around and seem like they could have podded off of him. And that's what worries me about it. More interesting though for me is that if anyone puts their head above the parapet and talks out above ordinary people, unions, people coming together, talks about jobs, houses, things that matter to ordinary people, they're kind of attacked en masse even by left-leaning press. It's extraordinary to witness and watch, and it's a real indication of the dangerous times that we live in.
Is it right that in the 21st century, in the fourth richest country in the world, there are thousands of people sleeping on the streets? Is it right that so many young people have nowhere decent to live? No. Is it right that 1 million people are using food banks? I want a budget that shares the wealth, that eliminates the poverty, that gives the opportunities.
What I suppose is a concern further down the line is when a whole nation places in charge a left-leaning government, I'm talking obviously of Greece, then superstructures impose their will. So even in a situation where Jeremy Corbyn became leader of the Labour Party and Prime Minister of Britain, you would still see the machinery of power, which we're witnessing already through like Tony Blair's constant briefing out against him and media condemnation of him. That machine would grind into more overt systems of enforcement. So, you know, bloody hell, Jeremy Corbyn would be a better kind of New Labour. Jeremy Corbyn is a politician who in public is prepared to stick up for the rights of ordinary people. That's obviously got to be a positive thing. The fear would be, can party politics ever really enact the will of the people? Can that ever happen again? Big question mark above that. True News. Subscribe here.
Is a tool that is abused to fool you and to leave you scared and confused. Truths is like the news. If the news was true, I want some truths. Let's have some truths.